stand just while we quote it. John 3:16. Everyone probably knows that scripture. This is one of the first scriptures I ever learned. Many of you, probably one of the first scriptures, if it wasn't Psalms 23, it was John 3:16. So it's for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Look at somebody and tell them, you have permission to live. Look at somebody else, tell them, you got permission to live. Before you sit down and say, a good life. Y'all want to say that again? Good life. Everybody probably ever heard the story. When the scripture was quoted, or when Jesus was talking, he said this to, thank you. He said this to Nicodemus. Nicodemus was a rabbi. He was a scribe. He was one that came and talked to Jesus because he knew it was something different about Jesus. He had been around church and he had been around the synagogue for a long time. Nicodemus had. And he had learned a lot of things when it comes to the law and when it comes to the Lord. But it was only after he heard Jesus teach that he knew that it was something else. Something different about his teaching. And he wanted to know more, but he didn't want to lose or jeopardize his position. But he knew it was something else outside of those four walls. Outside the four walls of the church. Because as much as we love church, we don't live our life in these four walls. We live our life after we leave here. And he came and he asked Jesus, basically, who was he? He called him master from the beginning, and Jesus said, why you call me that? And Jesus explained to him who he was and who his father was. And he said to him, it is my Father that has sent me. And he sent me here, honestly, that I might give my life, that you might have life. Isn't that something to know that your purpose in life is to sacrifice your life? Most of us don't think that that's what our life is for. A lot of us think that our life is just for us. And somebody say, you right about that, Pastor? It is just for me. But there are so many people connected to you. So decisions that are made are not always made for you. Because sometimes you have to make decisions thinking about someone else. Everybody don't have that compassion. And everybody won't have it. But it still does not stop the fact that he died for the world. For God so loved the what? The world. The whole world. The world. Y'all get that? Yeah. He don't love one more than the other. He doesn't look at the things that we look at as people. He doesn't divide us because of our status. He still loves the world. Whether you got money in your pocket or whether your chain strange. Money funny. He still loves the world. Whether you dark or light. He loved the world. Whether you got a big title or no title at all. Whether you're a supervisor or just a worker. A CEO or you just stand at the door and sweep the floor. He loved the world. And he loved us so much that we might have everlasting life. I passed about 9 churches coming here. People are at those churches because apparently they are looking for something more than the life that we're living here. They're looking for everlasting life. But we know you can't be talking about this life because this life ends with the grave. So he has to be talking about something other than that life. But he wants us to have a good life on this side. Amen. I can't get no amens on that. Because he says the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I come that you might have life what? More abundantly. So he wants us to have not just life, but he wants us to have what? Abundant life. Praise the name of God. Abundant life. He wants us to learn how to live, love, and laugh. Well, that's a good life, yeah. Well, that's a good life. I'm trying to tell you, if I can get them 3 things done in a day, even one day, every day, if I get them 3 things done, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, listen, man. I have learned how to laugh at pain. Because I got to get it in. Laugh at some of my own decisions, my own mistakes. And not just cry because I had to think about how did I get where I am. It don't make sense now, but it made sense then. But he said, I want you to know that you have permission to live. And I want you to make sure you understand that I'm just not talking about a ordained life, but I'm talking about a good life. Now it depends on, watch this, it depends on what some people call a good life. Because everybody doesn't want the same thing in life. We say that we gonna follow Jesus. Deacon Nick, we say that we hear his voice. That's what he says. He says, my sheep know my voice. Now, when Jesus was here, he was showing us something, and he was showing the disciples something, but I don't think that we always get it. And the reason, Renard, I don't think that we always get it is because I see what's important to us in life. And I see how we use God. And we use God for our own purposes. And we use God with our ideas and our intent. But there's a lot of times things are right in front of us. And we miss it. And we'll even talk about the old patriarchs. And we'll talk about the disciples. And we'll talk bad about it. We'll say, look at Peter running his mouth again. We'll say, look at Thomas, doubting Thomas, wouldn't believe. The rest of them, Philip said, well, I believe it was Philip said, well, if he's dead, he's doing good. And Jesus had to tell him, Lazarus not dead, he's just sleeping. Oh, praise the name of God. Because I'm about to show up, and not only am I going to show up, but I'm going to show out. I'm going to let y'all know on earth that this is the kind of life I want you to live. Because there are going to be some things in your life come up against you. There are going to be some people come up against you. There are going to be some schools of thoughts come up against you. There are going to be some prejudices come up against you. There are going to be racism come up against you. There are going to be people try to hold you back because they just don't want God to bless you. But I came by to tell you, you got permission to live. But I watched the man that took 42 generations. He took 42 generations to show up, hallelujah, in a manger. Well, we coming up to that time now that is Christmas time. And I want you to understand, don't get to the place to where you let the bad spirit come into you because you can't get everything you want. Pray in the name of God. Be thankful for whatever your parents, hallelujah, are able to get you. But I also want the parents to know, don't put yourself in debt. And in January and February, you trying to come out because you're trying to buy stuff you can't afford. I pray in the name of Jesus. I found out there's just some things that we just miss. But I want to share them with you this morning because I seen a man show up and he was put in a crib that wasn't even his crib. I pray in the name of God, I seen a man show up that stayed in a house that wasn't even his house. I seen a man show up that rode on a boat in a ship and it wasn't even his ship. I seen a man die and got put in a tomb that wasn't even his tomb. Hallelujah. But yet we sit around talking about all we got. But Jesus came and he realized that everything already was his. I pray in the name of God. I don't have to put a coin on anything when God is in my life because I realize I serve a God that has everything. And if he's willing to share, it must be mine. For the Bible says, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. That means everything belongs to him. He went to the tomb and said, I'm not staying here. And he walked on and he walked out of life. into the Alpha in the middle of life. And he looked at death. Hallelujah. That's why he went to the tomb, because death was there. And I got to go look at death. And I came by to tell you that God has given us the same power. I'm not talking about physical death, but I'm talking about the things that come up against you, that try to take your life, that try to keep you from living a good life. He looked at death and took the sting from death. He says, death, where is thy sting? Where is thy victory? The Bible says that he was resurrected on the third day, showed up with all power in his hand. And he said, this power I give unto you. This peace I give unto you. This joy I give unto you. Joy, unspeakable joy. Joy, the joy of the Lord is my strength. Love, I give you love. Love that surpasses all understanding. Love that looks over your faults and see your needs. Love that shall not die. Love that shall live. And because he lives, we shall live. Hallelujah. Take what you want, but I found out I serve a God that if you take something, he's going to give me something back. Yes, he will. I found out that God, watch it. We don't understand. We really don't. It's the kingdom. All he was trying to do is teach us the kingdom. That's why he didn't ever have to have anything. Because he lived within the kingdom. All right? He lived within the kingdom.